healing is not linear. Like, you have good days or good moments, and then you kind of start to take a step back. It's easy to kind of get discouraged and give up and say, well, it's not working, I'm not ever going to get there. When you start to experience the up and down nature of trying to heal. Like, when you feel improved. Like, the last couple of days, I felt really improved. Like, I felt really good. I was able to. I work a lot on my mindset and like trying to change the way I think about myself and about life, and try to think more compassionate, gentle thoughts, be patient with myself, be more hopeful and positive and stuff like that. And so sometimes I'm able to like really like grab a hold of one of these thoughts, and it like just gets into my brain, and I grab it and I believe it for like a little. Well, it depends on the time. Like, sometimes it lasts for a day, sometimes it lasts for an hour, sometimes it lasts for a couple of days. I don't know, but eventually it starts to kind of slip away, and that's what I've kind of been experiencing today. So like today, like, I felt amazing 2 days ago. Just felt amazing because I was able to really buy into this idea that I was didn't have anything to do with like being worthy of love. It was just that I was loved, right? Like, that I was just loved. It doesn't matter. And I was loved by God. I was loved by Jesus. I was filled with his love, and I was able to grab that idea and buy into it completely. And so I felt great because it's when you have faith like that, and you believe something like that, it allows God to validate it, and to let you, and to help you feel it, and to help it be like kind of brought into your life. But then when you start to doubt, when you lose that faith, he can't force you to feel good. So what I've kind of realized is, what I wanted to kind of talk about today, is that when you're trying to make a change and become better, happier, a more fulfilled version of yourself, you have to be willing to be different. And I think like, that's obvious, right? Duh. Sounds really obvious, but it means that we have to stop thinking the way that we've been thinking for so long and think differently. We have to be willing to feel differently than we've felt for a long time. We fall back into the same habits, even thinking habits, like even in our mind, our thought patterns. We fall back into our feeling patterns. We fall back, like, we talk about like physical habits that we create. Like, if you're trying to work out and get stronger and better, you create these physical habits to help you. You go to the gym, you work out, and you're trying to create these habits to help you grow. Same thing with mental habits. We have mental habits of thinking, and the way that we think about ourselves and about life and about our abilities and our worth and our value and whatever. And so when we're trying to make a change and feel better, feel happier, sometimes we get discouraged or frustrated because it's like, why am I not feeling better? And we might blame all kinds of different things. We might blame God. Why don't you help me feel better? Why don't you but like, if we're looking to feel different, we have to be willing to feel different. I hope that makes sense. Like, we kind of fall back into the same patterns of feeling negative. Like, and it's like, sometimes do you even find yourself, at least I do, almost like, I don't want to feel good right now, because you kind of get addicted almost. You fall into the habit of feeling a negative feeling, or just feeling any feeling. And so when you're trying to change that, you have to be willing to change that, to feel differently, even in the times when you don't really want to. And that not to say, look, let me be clear, don't repress your negative feelings. And I've talked about this before, but don't do that. But if you're wanting to make changes, you have to be willing to change. And that includes thinking differently and feeling differently and acting differently and just being different. So yeah, just keep that in mind as you try to make changes in your life, and maybe you're trying to heal. If you're trying to change from anxiety, depression, you also have to be willing to feel different. So when those positive feelings come in, usually negative feelings will follow at some point, because that's your habit. That's your habit. And so it takes a diligence, a repetitive act. You have to keep trying to make those changes, and keep trying to change the way you think about yourself and the way that you feel about yourself. You have to be willing to make those changes. So anyway, it was just a thought that I had. So hopefully that's helpful to somebody. If you find yourself like kind of going up and down when you're trying to get better and improve, that's usually part of the process. That's okay, and you just keep going, and eventually you'll get there. But the goal is that eventually you do get to a point where you're totally willing to be different, feel different, and think differently about yourself. So there you go.